Hey, welcome, thanks for watching. In this episode I continue the story of my bicycle tour of Southern California, Oregon, and the Pacific Coast Route. On the previous episode, high cliff views, Haystack Rock, Cannon Beach, Seaside, Traffic Mayhem, and Fort Stevens. It's day 39, the last day. It's another morning in the safety of my tent, packing everything possible before getting out. On exiting, the mosquitoes are after me in an instant. Like a lunatic, I keep moving the whole time while hastily loading my bike. They still bite me at least 5 times. Out from Fort Stevens, an early start provides the most daylight to finish the ride. In Astoria, I enjoy the waterfront site before turning to focus on covering distance. The first half knocks out the big climbs. Just after the halfway point, there's a steep drop down to Rainier. A roadside bike repair hinders my progress. This and heavy city traffic puts the successful ending of the tour in question. It's long, 100 miles if successful. It will be the longest I've gone with a fully loaded tour bike. The expected tailwind should improve the probability of success. I know it's not a done deal, but at least it's the plan. Alright, I'm off. Mosquitoes ripping into me. Just trying to get out of there. A couple of elk graze in a school field, just like it's a normal day. Holy cow. A direct shortcut is a bit of a rough road, but it's less distance and adds some adventure. I hope I get favorable winds the whole way. I think it'll be very doable if that's the case. And if I keep my fluid and calorie intake online, don't overdo it at the beginning, I think it'll be good. 106 a long ways. I guess I gotta settle down because I don't have to be in such a hurry. The wind should be favorable all day. I just really have to get there before dark. I have plenty of time, more than 12 hours from now. Lots of traffic already though. Don't like that. So far shoulder's big, but I can see it narrowing up here on the bridge. Not overly concerned. Alright, narrowing down. Not too bad. Already really busy. Probably got the morning commute traffic. I don't think it's so much tourists this time. I'm a little worried that this bridge crossing might be tough with traffic and tight lanes. It turns out better than I expected. I was thinking this might be more narrow. That's not bad. Deciding to take a riverfront trail instead of roads through downtown Astoria pays off. It's way more relaxing, and you get unique perspectives compared to staying on the road. The 2-lane narrow Astoria Bridge spans across the 4-mile-wide Columbia River and into Washington. Maybe someday I'll cross it on my bike, but not today. I'm heading up the Oregon side. The wood planks and rail tracks on the path require some caution. The bike tires like to slide into the gaps and may make it unstable. Even with this, it's still pleasant and a scenic passage. This historic ferry worked these waters until 1966. I see in the window that it's up for sale. Don't call if interested. As an odd twist, about a month after passing through, it took on water and sank on July 28th. It was originally built in 1924.
My throughway is not through.
It looks like a fence and detour blocks my path, but I'm able to pass through with little disturbance.
Morning.
At the Columbia Maritime Museum Pier, there's some tourists from a riverboat cruise visiting, and some vessels moored. It looks like an interesting museum to check out sometime.
I think this was a good choice, doing the pathway. Lots of photo ops. I haven't been on this whole thing. It's kind of nice. I think I'll still be able to catch the store up here. I may be able to make it home today. But I definitely can't go this slow the whole way, which I'm not planning to. After Astoria, there's not nearly as much pictures of. There's a few spots. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, not see
Sorry.
you.
Thank you. Well, the end of the trail looks like.
It's on to Highway 30 now for most of the day. Time to get down to business and focus on riding. There's still plenty of daylight, but a long way to go. 94 miles to Portland.
I haven't gotten the full effect of the tailwind yet. So I got cookies, chips, banana, chocolate wafer bars, fruit pies. Should have enough calories. Man, this really does seem like a road to the sky. It's going up into the clouds. Guardrail, 2 lanes again. It looks like they installed this for almost no reason. I mean, I guess there's a little drop off over there. So irritating. So irritating. It's a big down and a big back up. Maybe I'll get a little bit of run up. It doesn't really go flat for very far, I don't think. So far, ride's going as planned. Feeling good, feeling good. 1/4 complete of ride. 26.75. This Highway 30's actually been better than I expected as far as traffic and, well, traffic's probably about the same because it was in the morning. As far as shoulder's been pretty decent. It's not too bad here. Still a decent sized shoulder between the guardrail and the white line.
After 2 hours of riding from Astoria, Bradley Park is a welcome spot to take a 15-minute break.
Oh, it is.
Nice day for a ride.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Fantastic.
Not a good spot to have your truck break down. One of the few remaining ferry crossings on the Columbia River is here at Westport.
Another annoyance of mine. That one, they should have left an opening there. Here, make me go. No.
After a lunch break at Clatskanie, it's the day's second climb and the last major climb of the tour. Of course, complete with narrow shoulder, high-speed passing zones.
On the final huge climb. Well, it's not huge. The final biggest climb of the day. There's lots of little hills after this. The world's skinniest shoulder. Hope no cars come. Zero shoulder. Alright, call it. Well, it's kind of like 3 inches. $500. That's all. Feels like it should be more. Closing in on the halfway point.
Another weigh station to measure my load.
Okay, see if we can pick up our weight, see if we're still 250. 250. I saw it.
The apparent 50-pound increments isn't quite the resolution needed for weighing a touring bike.
Okay, we're at the halfway point. Halfway to home. I think climbing-wise, definitely way over halfway.
I was expecting that the steep downhill would be fast, but I wasn't aware just how fast. It's a little sketchy, but I survive. Not only will I get my longest touring distance today, I also got my highest top-end speed.
Like such a far off goal, which it was, and today I should accomplish it. At this point I feel very confident. Anything can happen. Now I'm on a section that I have ridden several times. I rode this way on the Seattle to Portland, this direction. Branches and stuff sticking out. Gotta watch out for those.
It seems only fitting, a flat rear tire. I take it in stride, and why not? Last day, long ride, making good time. It can't all go smoothly. 2 flats total in almost 2,000 miles. Not bad at all.
Alright, back off again and again.
After my tire repair, I forget to zip my saddlebag and my multi-tool spills into the road. The cars and trucks somehow miss hitting it by only inches. I successfully recover it when the traffic breaks.
I've exceeded my longest distance on this tour for one day, but I still have 36 miles to go. Oops, missed that sign. Weigh myself again. Weigh station in a quarter mile. Alright, see if I get 250 again. See if there's one of these scales that's rounded to the 25-pound range. Oh, went to 300. Went to 300.
My last food and drink stop, back onto the road for the final stretch into Portland. I came to realize on this trip, it cost more to fuel myself than to fuel a car over the same distance. Of course, riding is a lot more fun.
That tailwind is really pushing me along. Although the flag up there doesn't look like it's going that hard.
Navigating construction signage is always exciting. There's usually a decent way through without riding out in the road, but it's often not the most direct route. The afternoon commute traffic increases as I approach Portland.
It looks a bit crowded. Bit busy.
The familiar sight of Portland initiates the sense of accomplishment and the realization of completing the tour.
Come on, I mean, really, let's do some trail maintenance. These are stickers, too. There's just barely enough room to get by. I'm over the century mark. I missed the century mark. I was too busy taking pictures, I think. I think it's still going to come in around 106. Scared him a little bit, but he wasn't too scared.
Over the final few miles, I try to celebrate, but in reality, my tired state prevents a full-hearted recognition.
Gonna make it, yes. I'm trying to celebrate, but I'm tired. Well, I'm not that tired. That was the easiest 108 I've done.
Like any long adventure, this tour was full of ups and downs. Fortunately, in my case, way more positives than any negatives. Today was the longest distance by far, but I rank it at 4th hardest of the tour. The hardest ride was day 2, the climb to Big Bear, followed by the ride out of Big Sur on day 18, and then the 20-mile hill to Idlewild on day 4. The tour total of 1,958 miles over 39 days is an average of 50 miles per day. The 189 hours of time moving, in theory, means continuous riding to go this distance would take an equivalent of 8 days without stopping, although not physically possible, at least for me. Climbing of about 109,000 feet is an average of 2,800 feet per day. This is hard to relate to unless you ride a lot and track this. Maybe think of an airplane flying at cruising altitude, then 3 times this height to reach 109,000 feet. The traffic stats is a new one for me, and one that ends up being fairly accurate. I sample 15 to 30% of the ride time of passing vehicles. I found anything in the 3 or less vehicles per minute is quite calm, whereas anything 10 plus can be quite annoying. But it depends on the road and bike lane conditions. Today was one of the highest averages for the tour. Pedal revolutions is a fun, but not that useful stat. I don't know about you, but 750,000 revolutions seems like a lot. Extra calories burned are the estimated calories just while cycling. This does not include the base calories from living, typically around 2,000. My ride today was almost 5,800 extra. The tour total is 116,000, or right around 3,000 extra calories per day. If I only ate fruit pies on the tour for extra energy, I would have had to eat about 291 fruit pies in addition to my normal meals. I ate a lot of them, but not that many. I found the hotel to camping ratio of about 1 hotel stay per week is about perfect. Reflecting on the overall tour, there were so many highlights. Each week seemed to bring a distinct segment. The first week, brutal and hot inland high mountains of Big Bear, Jacinto, and Cuyamaca. Wild camping downhill to the Mexico border and the Pacific Ocean. The second week, start of big cities, San Diego, Los Angeles beaches, pathways, skaters, traffic and freeway riding. A handful of broken spokes and bike shop visits. Demoralizing headwinds while riding, and winds at night. The third week, stable touring, spectacular Highway 1, climbing hills, winds, Big Sur, view after view, bridges, Monterey, rain, and San Francisco. The fourth week, hitting my stride in Northern California, coast with more views, forts, inland giant redwoods, forest riding, more rain, and back to the coast. The final week and a half, finish California, entering Oregon, historic bridges, dunes, meet up with a friend, lighthouses, deluxe camping, fort, and long ride home. Meeting people was a surprisingly regular occurrence, whether it was fellow bike tours, day cyclists, hikers, tourists, or locals. So many friendly people wanted to chat. Animal sightings made the journey even more interesting. Of course, there was plenty of more common animals like squirrels, lizards, caterpillars, dogs, horses, cows, and goats. As expected, each day birds were commonplace, along with some special observations of turkeys and birds of prey. More elusive animals add to the thrill. Coyotes, many deer, both doe and bucks. On the northern section, elk began to appear. Both seals and sea lions were easy to find, but one day in Oregon, my first ever whale sightings. I could do without the snakes and relentless mosquitoes. Hard as I tried, unfortunately, no real bear sightings on this tour. Overall, the tour was great, and I would like to do more in the future. I may do the rest of Washington, or go across America. I haven't decided yet. I enjoyed producing these videos, but they ended up much harder and time-consuming than the planning and writing of the entire tour. So I have to optimize if I continue to make videos, or else I don't have enough time to plan and go on more adventures. That completes this Pacific Coast Bicycle Tour video series. But my adventures continue. So until the next episode, I'll see you then, and thanks for watching.